The following is a class on the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Chapter 20, Text 101, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on November 3rd, 1975, in Bombay, India.
Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Caitanya means the Supreme Living Being. In the Vedas, it is said, Nitya Nityanam, Chaitanas Chaitananam, Ekaj Mahunam Vidadhati Kaman. This is description of the Supreme Lord. That the Supreme Lord, sir, what is God? That is simplified. Nitya Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. He is the Supreme Eternal Being amongst many other eternal beings. We are all eternal beings. We living entities. Our position is eternity, as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Na jayate na mriyate va kadachit. These living entities, they do not take birth or die at any time. Not nowadays, they are taking more birth and population is increasing. This is all nonsense. Population is neither increasing nor decreasing. It may be the living entities, they are transmigrating in this material world, not in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, they have got their eternal form. But in the material world, because the living entities have come to enjoy the material resources, therefore, according to the desire, the living entity is getting different forms of body. 8,400,000. But he is not dying. The body is changed. Tatha dehantara prapti dhīrastatana mayyati. Our death means to transmigrate to another body. Just like from childhood we are transmigrating to another body, boyhood. From boyhood we are transmigrating to another body, youthhood. And from youthhood we are transmigrating to another body, old body. Similarly, when this body will not be any more workable, then we shall transmigrate to another body. Tatha dehantara prapti dhīrastatva namayyat. Those who are dhīra means sober, thoughtful, they are not dhīra. But those who are not dhīra, adhīra, there are two classes of men, dhīra and adhīra. Dhīra means one who is spiritually situated. He is called dhīra or brahma-bhuta, prasannātma, dhīra. And one who is not spiritually situated, materially situated, means on the platform of bodily conception of life, then he is adhīra. He is restless. From this platform to that platform, this platform to that platform, this is going. So, we change body, otherwise we are eternal. Na hannate hannamane sarire. This is the information we get, that after this destruction of this material body, the eternal soul It's never destroyed. Na hannati. Hannamane sariri. We get another one. The same example. The child gets the body of a boy, boy gets the... Therefore, we are eternal. And what is God? He is also eternal. So, nitya nityanam. We are eternal, we are many, and God is also eternal, but He is one. He is singular number. Not that all of us we are God. That is nonsense. We are part and parcel of God, but we are not as powerful as God. Anyone can understand it very easily that claiming to become God, so does he think that he is equal in power with God? No. That is foolishness. Mura. God is one, but we are also eternal. God is also eternal, but we are many. There is no... Śrī satodha kalpitasya cha jiva bhava savigya sa anantaya kalpati. The description of the living being is given in the Shastra, that the magnitude, Kesagra sadobhagasya satodha kalpita, 1/10,000 part of the tip of the hair, and anantaya kalpita, there is limitless. Whereas in practical experience also, we have this understanding that we require a leader. In the present moment, there are so many parties, so many nations, so many societies, but there is a leader. That you cannot deny. Just like in this Krishna consciousness society, it is a society, I happen to be the leader. Similarly, there are other parties, political parties and business parties. Everywhere there is a leader. You cannot avoid the leader. That is not possible. Even I put this question to Professor Kotovsky, that what is the difference between your philosophy and our philosophy? You are Leninist, you are following the leader Lenin, and we are following the leader Krishna. So where is the difference in philosophy? You have to follow one leader. That you cannot avoid. Without leader, you cannot be guided, you cannot form a party. Everywhere you go, just like in our country, we followed the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. So we became a nation. So everywhere you find, there must be a leader. Without leader, you cannot become a community or a nation. Similarly, who is the supreme leader? That is God or Krishna. Therefore, he is described in the Vedas, Nitya Nityanam Chaitana Chaitana. He is the leader. So, what is the difference between the plural number Nityas and singular number? Eka vachan, singular number, leader, God. Eka jo bahunam vidadhati kaman. That is the difference. That we are living entity and Krishna and God is living entity, but Krishna maintains all other living entities. We cannot maintain even ourselves. And we find difficult, especially nowadays, to maintain even a family. That is the difference. And still, As a rascal I claim that I am God. I am God. Nobody can claim unnecessarily that one is God. First of all, prove that you can maintain all the living entities. You cannot maintain yourself even you beg from door to door, and how you become God? Very simple question. Because in the Vedas says, eko jo bahunam vidodati kama, that one singular number leader, he maintains all other living entities. That we have got practical experience. He is maintaining within the sand so many crabs. He is maintaining so many ants in the whole of your room. He is maintaining millions of elephants in the African jungle. So, out of 8,400,000 of forms of life, mostly 8,300,000 species of life are being maintained by that one maintainer. And some of us, so-called civilized, we are trying to maintain ourselves. Therefore, nitya nityanam chetanas chetananam. He is also consciousness. He is conscious. He is not achetan. Achetan means there is no consciousness. He is conscious. And we are also conscious. So he is the supreme conscious person amongst ourselves, and he is the supreme eternal amongst ourselves. That is Chaitanya. Chaitanya means the supreme being, the supreme eternal being, the supreme conscious being, and he is Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Chaitanya means character, activities. So Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Amrita means also eternal or nectarine, which does not die. That Caitanya-caritāmṛta is there. It was written by Kaviraj Goswami some 400 years ago, and it was in Bengali, not Bengali, Sanskrit and Bengali. So now we have translated with elaborate explanation. This is the book. It is now Caitanya-caritāmṛta in English. So we have finished this in 17 volumes like this. So we request you to take these volumes and read that what is the position of Chaitanya or the Supreme Living Entity and ourselves. What is the relationship and what is his characteristics, what is our characteristics, and how we can make our activities as good as the Supreme Chaitanya's. That is called Caitanya-caritāmṛta. So here we are talking about Chaitanya's instruction to Sanatana Goswami. This Sanatana Goswami was one of the important ministers in the government of the then Pathan Nawab Hussain Shah. He is a very important person. He was a very great scholar in Persian language, in Arabian language and Sanskrit. And because he joined the Muslim government, he accepted the service of a Muslim government, he was rejected by the Brahmin community. He was born in Brahmin community, Saraswat Brahmin. There are many Saraswat Brahmins in Bombay, so he belonged to that community. And because the Brahmin community exterminated him, then he became almost like Muslim. Their name was also changed. David Khas and Sakar Malik, two brothers. Later on, by the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these half-converted Muslim Brahmins were again claimed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to become the first-class Brahmin, Goswami. They were Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So this Sanatana Goswami retired. First of all, Rupa Goswami retired from the government service, and then Sanatana Goswami also retired. With great difficulty, he got rid of the responsibility of government. The Nawab arrested him because he was declining to obey his order. The Nawab wanted him to stay in his post, but he declined. So, when the Nawab said that you are declining my order and you are resigning from your post, this is illegal, I shall arrest you. So, Sanatana Goswami, he replied that you are the king. So according to our Vedic civilization, a king is supposed to be the representative of God. So I cannot disobey you, but now it is my duty to retire and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, therefore I must do it. So he arrested him. So this Sanatana Goswami, with great difficulty, he approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Varanasi. At that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying at Varanasi. So he met him there, and after he becoming a Vaishnava, dressed in Vaishnava, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed him for 2 months continually, just to enliven him in the matter of devotional service and write books, so that in future the followers of Chaitanya cult may take guide and be advanced in spiritual consciousness. So both the brothers, they wrote many books. This book is, of course, by different devotees, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, but Rupa Goswami's book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we have translated into English, Nectar of Devotion. He said in that book that is the verdict of Vedic culture, to follow the authorities. Krishna also said in the Bhagavad Gita, Tasmat Shastra Pramananti, whatever you do, you must follow this Shastra, otherwise it is not bona fide. And if anyone neglects the order of Shastra, Jasastra vidhimussijya bhattati kamakara na siddhing savapnati na sukham na parangati. So we cannot avoid Shastra. So this Chaitanya cult is strictly under the injunction of the Shastra. So he has come to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is submitting himself, Kripa kori jodi more koriya cha uddhar, apon kripate kaho kartabya amah. A disciple, when he accepts Guru, this is example, Sanatana Goswami. Tasmat prapaddeta Tasmat gurum prapaddeta jignasu svayuttamam. This is the injunction of the Sadhu. Who requires a guru? It is not a fashion that one has to accept anyone as guru. No. a person requires a guru when he is inquisitive. Tasmad gurum prapaddeta jigyasu, when he is very much eager to understand the spiritual. Sreya uttamam. Uttamam. Ut means transcendental and tama means darkness. This word is called darkness, ignorance. So one who wants to transcend this position of ignorance and wants to know the transcendental subject, means spiritual subject, Brahma Jigyasa, he requires a guru, not any person, other person. If you are interested in things which is beyond this material world, that is necessary, inquiry. So here is the inquiry that Sanatana Goswami says that you have delivered me from the classes of material attachment. I was minister, getting good salary, very nice post, so many aristocrats was offering me respect. So I think it was not necessary. My real necessary is to advance in spiritual consciousness. So kindly you have given me relief from this material concept of life. Now, according to your desire, I have left everything. Now let me know what is my duty. This is required. If anyone becomes disciple of a bona fide guru, then his duty is to ask from the guru what he can do to help guru. That is required. So Sanatana Goswami is giving us the example. Apon kripate koho kartabba. Kartabba means duty. Now what is my duty? I have left my so-called duty, ministership. Now I am interested in my real duty. You kindly speak to me, what is my duty? The another question was, first question was that what is my duty? Then next question is, kya? Actually, what I am? Kya kane amay jare tapotra. I do not want sufferings, but sufferings are forced upon. Three kinds of suffering: adhyatmik, adhibhautik, and adhidaivik. This is knowledge. So, adhyatmik means sufferings pertaining to the body and mind. And adhibhautik means sufferings offered by other living entities. Adhibhautik. And adhidaivik, sufferings offered by natural disturbance. There are three kinds of suffering. Just like the firework is going on, the heavy sound, it is intolerable by somebody. But still he has to tolerate. Then this firework is going on by other person. This is called adhibhautik. Similarly, there are so many sufferings which we do not want. Still they are forced upon us. Therefore he said, kane amay jare tapotra. These three kinds of miseries are always giving me trouble. And at the same time, I do not know what I am. Everyone is thinking, I am this, I am that, but he is suffering. These are very plain questions. So these questions should be put before the spiritual master, and he should get proper answer and act accordingly, then spiritual life will be successful. Unless we are interested in such questions, there is no need of wasting time to accept any guru or spiritual master. So, again he says, Sadha sadhana tattva puchite na jani. Actually, I do not know. It is my duty to put questions upon it. That is also indicated in the Bhagavad Gita. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadakshanti tad jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Tad vidhi. If you want to understand things which is beyond this material world, tamasi ma jyoti gama, don't remain within this darkness of material existence. Try to transcend, to go to the spiritual world, jyoti, where it is light. Here it is always dark, and there is always light. So, everyone should be interested, especially in this human form of life, not to remain here like animals, cats and dogs, but to become Brahmabhuta, Aham Brahmasmi. One must know. This is the duty of human life. So he says, Sadha sadhana tattva puchite na. Now I am little interested how to become spiritually advanced, but I do not know how I shall put the question before you. And what is the ultimate goal of life? These things I do not know. But I have got an inquiry. That is natural. Athata Brahma Jignasa. This is the natural inquisitiveness of any conditioned life, especially in the human form of life. As it is inquired by Sanatana Goswami, everyone should be elevated to that position to inquire what I am. Kripa kari sab tattva kahata apam. So I do not know how to place my question. This is submission. So you can speak to me what is actually the goal of life, why I have forgotten my identification, and how I shall be properly situated. This is Vedic civilization. Whole Vedic civilization means to understand oneself, to understand God and the relationship, and according to that relationship one has to work, then his life is successful. This is Vedic culture. Vedic culture does not mean to become a big dog. No, that is not Vedic culture. In the Shastra it is said that Sabir Varaha Ustakharai Samastuta Purusha Pasu. Purusha Pasu. In this material world, without any spiritual knowledge, if one is adored, it is just like the small animals in the jungle is praising the big animal, the lion. The lion is an animal, and the small rabbit or other animals, they are also animals. So the rabbits are very much afraid of lion, that is a fact, and they worship the... this morning we were discussing one story, how a rabbit entangled one lion and saved his life. So, here in this material world, similarly, the small animal may be afraid of the big animal, but the big animal or small animal, they are animals. They are animals. Therefore Bhagavad said, the small animal may eulogize the big animal, that does not mean the big animal is of any importance. He is animal, that's all. Similarly, our position is that we may not go to the big animal, but we may go to like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then we will be benefited. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Chaitanya, living, supreme living being. Therefore our request is that for your enlightenment of life, you do not approach a big animal. You approach Krishna, the supreme being. Then you will be benefited. There is no use. And who is animal? Even if he is two-legged, but still he remains an animal. Who? Jasyata buddhi kunapeti dhatuke. One who is thinking of this body as identified with itself, he is animal. Anyone, it doesn't matter. We do not speak of any particular man, but any person who does not know his real identification, as Sanatana Goswami entered, Kayami, he was the Prime Minister, but still he did not know what he is. That will be explained. Gramma vyavahare kahoe pandit, satya kari mane, apanar hitahit kichu nahi jane. Some foolish person, they say that I am very learned scholar. Because he was Brahmin. Brahmin is always supposed to be very learned. Therefore he is called Pandit, Panditji. So, Sanatana Goswami said, Gramma Vyavahara, in the ordinary dealings, my neighborhood man, they say, Panditji. But I am such a Pandit that I do not know what I am. Apanar hitahit kichu nahi. I am such a Pandit. Therefore I have come to you. This is called submission. If one is sincere, if he does not know what he is, what is his function, how he will make his life successful, then he is not Pandit. So that is going on now, at the present moment. Throughout the whole world, the bodily concepts are priority. I am American, I am Indian, I am African, I am this, I am that, I am Brahmin, I am Shudra, I am black, I am white. This bodily concept are there. Because Shastra says that if anyone is in the bodily concepts of life, Saeva Gokhara, he is no better than this animal. Therefore, Sanatana Goswami is the best example to follow how one should approach a guru, how one should take lesson from guru, how he should understand to make his life successful. These questions and answers are there in the Sanatana Shiksha of Caitanya-caritāmṛta. So we are trying to discuss, and Prabhu kahe Krishna kimat tomate purna hoy sab tattva jano tomar nahi tapasra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answered that Sanatana Goswami, he is actually very learned. If he is not learned, then how he can give up his post as the minister, finance minister? He is actually learned. Because he was inquisitive that I must know the goal of my life, I must make my life successful, and therefore I must go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciated his approach, that you have come to me for better enlightenment. That means you are not ordinary person, you are not ordinary conditioned soul. Who can sacrifice such big post, such big honor, and come to a sannyasi and submit to me? Therefore he says, Prabhu kahe Krishna Kumar Purna. God's mercy is fully there in you. Sab tattva jnana. You have understood all the truths of life. Sab tattva jnana. Tomar nahi tapotra. And he was inquiring that why I am forced to accept all kinds of miserable conditions. But for you, there is no such thing. Tapotra. This is very important. One who is advanced in spiritual consciousness, for him there is no material trouble. There is no material. Ahoituki apratihata. So long we are in the bodily concept of life, there are so many troubles and miserable conditions of life. But as soon as you become spiritually advanced and you know your identity, that you are not this body but your spirit soul, then this is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sotati na kankati samas sarveshu bhuteshu madbhakti lavati param. This is one. Every one of us should become Brahma bhuta, not to remain Jiva bhuta. That is ignorance. One must come to the platform of Brahma bhuta. Then Prasannatma. He has no three kinds of material conditional life. He has no struggle for existence. Prasannatma is always jolly. Because he knows that I am not this body, I am soul, at least theoretically. Prasannatma. So that is one thing. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that as you have decided to relinquish, to resign your so exalted post, and you have come to me for spiritual enlightenment, that means you are already liberated from the three material conditions of life. Thank you very much.